Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Polkadot broadcast. And each month, and each of the months, we will have a roundtable talking about the insights and the highlights from the whole month and from the Polkadot ecosystem. And for this episode, we moved to English channel because before we always did it on the Chinese channel, and later on we will all did it on the English channel, and welcome all people that who are interested in can join us. And today we invited William and Philip and Leo from Polkadot
Hi,
ecosystem to
everyone.
join us. Okay, hi, yeah. Um, and I think first of all, and hope that each guest can introduce a little bit about yourself and can share, what stands out the most to you about Polkadot in September. How about we start from Philip?
Yeah, hi, everyone. I'm Filippo, and I'm a technical educator at the Web3 Foundation. And I
Mhm.
would say, like this month in September was quite interesting for Polkadot. We have seen a very high increase in transaction that have been pushed by Polkadot rollups. I
Oh.
think one of the most important was Mythical Games. There were 3 days where I can see here more than 2 million transactions per day were pushed to the Polkadot relay chain to secure these transactions. So it was quite
Mhm.
quite good. I mean, it's a quite big achievement, and the relay chain didn't really signal any sign of stress or like downtime or this kind of things. So just a regular day. And I would say also interesting, the proposal about Polkadot inflation. There are three wish for changes proposal that are testing the kind of sentiment in the Polkadot community. And
Mhm.
I would say there is one that is just saying it should continue as it is. The other one is just 8%, reduction from 10 to 8% and
Mhm.
constant inflation. And then there is another one that is a reduction to 8% inflation, but
Mhm.
decreasing every year. And the one that is 8% decreasing is currently having a lot of approval. So yeah.
Mhm.
And then of course we had the release of core time, and
Mhm.
which a big change for Polkadot transitioning from the auctions to core time.
Mm. Yeah, cool. And 2 million transactions and inflation and core time, these are core things that happens in Polkadot. Where does these 2 million transactions come from?
Excuse me?
Where does these 2 million transactions come from?
It's mostly probably like Mythical Games that is kind
Oh.
of transitioning everything to their chain, and as a consequence, because Polkadot is securing this transaction, means that the relay chain is basically replaying everything that has been
Mhm.
done on Mythical and make sure that okay, it's actually what it say it is, and this is what actually the service that Polkadot provides. It's a roll-up chain, and so they're coming. These millions of transactions were specifically coming mostly, from Mythical Games for these 3 days. But on average, the transactions that have been pushed to Polkadot by all the rollups, which are 50 right now, it has been increasing, and now it's it's close to 1 million per day, except for this exception, of migration and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes, it's really amazing that once we got very good applications and the adoption of Polkadot can see a very great,
Yeah,
status.
this is
Mm.
actually what people are missing, because most of the times you see Polkadot as low transaction per second and this TPS kind of
Mhm.
narrative. People don't
It's
really
not
get
true.
that. Don't really get that Polkadot is securing. The main job is securing transactions coming from all these
Mhm.
rollups, and they
Yes.
are doing all these things at the same time. So these
Mhm.
1 million, 2 million, 3 million transactions are secure, like from all these ecosystems, from all these, let's say, layer one chains, and this is what
Mm.
Polkadot job is.
Yes, people should know that. Okay. And William, what's your perspective on, the most thing, what stands out the most to you in September on Polkadot?
Hi, I'm William. I am head ambassador of Polkadot. And
Mm-hmm,
so, yeah, there's so many things that happened this month. And, just I was just looking through my notes earlier. Of
mm-hmm,
course, we had Decoded Asia and Token
mm-hmm,
2049. Leo, I saw Leo there. We were both there. It was it was a great week, all full of events and side events,
mm-hmm,
and lots of Polkadot representation, as well as meeting with other ecosystems and seeing what everybody is doing in crypto now. We had one thing that the head ambassadors did was issue a survey to the Polkadot community about the mission and vision of Polkadot and the mission and vision of the ambassador program, and we did that to gather community feedback on what people think the direction of the ambassador program should be. We got 80 responses from across the community. I think it's a really good number. Many of them, probably 80 to 90%, are very high quality responses. People really took the time to think about what in their perspective, what in their mind, what the direction of Polkadot should be, and what the ambassador program, what the role of that should be. And so we just released it. So please take a look. Please help to go through the responses and find trends. We'll be doing that too, and probably sticking some AIs on them to help summarize everything. But it's really interesting information. Another thing is that DV applications are closing very soon in the next few days. So if you're interested in being a DV in the next cohort, right?
I think it's today, right? It closes on
I think it might
today.
be today. It might even be today. So that's another thing. I think there, I was looking through the forum earlier. There's so many new posts that are going, new groups that are starting, and yeah, that's pretty much all of the, I guess, exciting things that are happening.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much. And the Decoded Asia ambassador and the DV and the Polkadot applied DV this time. Hope we can win.
Oh, great. Yeah, going back for another round, right?
Mhm. And Leo, so could you like to introduce you a little bit and what stands out the most to you about Polkadot in
Okay,
September?
well, hi. Okay, well, hello guys. I mean, I am Leon. I'm a founder of Neuralaunch. I mean, to be honest, this month also so excited to me because I wasn't in Polkadot the last 5, 6 months deeply. I wasn't making a lot of research, unfortunately, because of my focus in Korea. I mean, for this month, I started to back the Polkadot to check again to making research at the Token Singapore event. I mean, and I joined the Polkadot Decoded Asia. To be honest, for me, to this month actually to backing the Polkadot mainly again, it is why I mean I couldn't catch the Polkadot at the beginning of September. But I mean, I need to mention here also some things. I mean, this month also, yeah, transactions is growing from the mythical games. It is so important because I mean mythical games is playing so good position in the GameFi sector because they are using the abstractions model. I mean, they are really reaching to Web2 users, which is the most important part for the GameFi sector because they are reaching the end of the users. What is it meaning? Real users, not directly to interest Web3 or who doesn't know blockchain technology. They are reaching these people. I mean, I'm so happy to also hear from Filippo. Mythical Games is making so good well these things, and also I know. I mean, I had a talk opportunity with Nicolas from the Playdot game. I mean, in this moment, I mean, I am seeing also. I hope so. Also in the future, maybe we can see also more applications in Polkadot. If I catch this stuff, I mean, Mythical Games is a good example to other projects here. I need to tell it. I mean, yeah, like that. Thank you. I mean, I don't have any idea about the head ambassadorship programs or any other things. Yeah, I know, but I mean, I am not checking governance a lot. This is why I cannot make any comments about it. Thank you.
it's cool, and it's great. You've been there. We're very happy. Maybe you can share about the progress or the uh you know the highlights about your project, so people can know.
All right. I mean, still, I mean, we are preparing to launch our the AI applications. I mean, we're gonna launch the closed beta test at end of this year, at the 31 December, actually, end of the year directly. And I mean, to be honest, we moved to Sonem chain, which is the created from the Astar network and also Sony, Web2 company Sony. I mean, we are preparing to launch our AI applications. We are working with in our university with my friends. I mean, we have here 7 academicians. I am only not developer, but I mean, I am also helping to them to getting data sets, and I'm trying to help also to them to do behavior part of the human side. And on this period also, we are preparing to launch our TG of token. I mean, we're gonna launch beginning of the actually end of the October, directly in some exchange. I cannot tell exchange by the way right now, but I mean we're gonna launch. And to be honest, we finished also our all fundraising stuff. It's like that. Thank you. I mean, I don't wanna get all time for Neuralaunch.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
congratulations on completing the round.
Thank you so much. I mean, it was a little bit hard
Congrats.
process because gracias. We are focusing to community part. We are trying to behind coming from the community parts, not ventures background. And this process, it was a so hard process for us. I mean, it is why actually I came to Asia also to meet with our community members. Also, I'm still traveling to each country. I mean, still I'm in Thailand. I'm gonna go Vietnam and other country too.
Oh.
I have to say that I've actually been a Neuralink community member since very early. Since when before the NFTs launched, and I bought some in the initial sale. So I've been watching Leo execute and work very hard and bring this vision to life over this year, and it's really been inspiring to see his dedication to the project, his dedication to creating some change in the world, right? And integrating not only just crypto, but also AI, trying to solve real problems with people, right? And so it spans much beyond just a crypto only thing or a blockchain native thing. But I think I think the mission is great, and I'm really happy to see the success so far, and looking forward to what happens in the future.
Okay, in the Singapore token 2049, and every AI meetings get crowded. So AI is the burning topics, and the Polkadot also need AI project, so you can contribute a lot.
I mean, on this period, I need to tell one thing, to be honest. I mean, about the AI and blockchain part. I mean, we have a lot of still projects actually in the blockchain who is focusing the AI parts. I mean, yeah, people is started to focus to AI narrative part. I mean, each trend is coming, and it is also with a trend, the project is started to creating. We saw some same narratives also 2-3 years ago in the metaverse trends. I mean, we saw many thousands metaverse projects, but when we are checking right now, I mean, all of this project is not continuing anymore. To be honest, on this period, yeah, we can see a lot of AI project is still starting or running, but end of the day, I mean, for me, in my objective, who is really creating to reaching the Web2 users? I'm gonna mention probably on this meeting a lot this stuff, but I mean, it's gonna be successful because of what, I mean, end of the day in Web3, you can see most of the Web3 user is coming to Web3 or cryptocurrency or okay, I'm not putting the blockchain directly to inside, but to getting some incentives, I mean, some income to creating income model. It is why, I mean, actually, when we're gonna check the Web3 members and users directly, most of people is not here to use a real applications. I mean, we are in the experimental labs in the Web3. Actually, Web3 is for me also experimental area, laboratory, like a laboratory. I'm not talking about Web3, by the way. I'm sorry, Web3 projects. And so on this process, I mean, yeah, we can see a lot of projects in AI part, but end of the day, person 99 projects also gonna die. We don't need a lot of AI stuff in the crypto or in the real life too, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would say that, yeah, I definitely saw a lot of AI projects at Token, AI and blockchain kind of coming together. I think the interesting thing for me, and, I haven't been paying too much attention to the AI space, but kind of in the past, AI and blockchain, have been talked about as being on diverging paths, right? AI is a path to centralization, right? And then blockchain is a path to decentralization, right? And so, it's kind of been incompatible, incompatible technologies or kind of ideologically from different space. But at this conference, you start to see a lot of projects that combine the two in a way that leads to advantages for the user and actually solves the problems, right? Blockchain can solve the provenance problem and the verifiability problem for AI, like Origin Trail does in our ecosystem with centralized knowledge graphs. And there's many projects that use blockchain to protect personal data or to meter access to the data that I saw, and then feed it into AI, right, to create a personal data space. So I think, they're starting to come together and we're starting to be able to see the advantages of each and they're starting to be combined. So I thought that was a very interesting development and just because they're starting to solve real problems and interact with each other.
Yeah, okay. Thanks for sharing. And I think we can move to the topic I prepared. I think this is very important because we got 21 head ambassador in Polkadot and pays a lot. Alex and Bob have submitted a proposal yesterday and to remove 10 head ambassadors and initiate a 100-day plan to effectively kickstart the ambassador program. Their main argument is that having 21 head ambassadors have hindered progress and resulting in a lack of tangible outcomes in the first 2 months, which has been frustrating for everyone involved. So we want to. This is very burning topic, and so we want to know that what's your take on these proposals. So William, you are one of the ambassadors. So would you like to kick it off?
Well, I've been, of course, embroiled in this over the past few days. And so, I definitely have a lot of thoughts. It's very fresh in my mind. But I would love to hear from the other panelists first. Just maybe they're a little bit more independent.
Yeah. So Philip, would you like to share your insights on this?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hot topic being from the foundation. Probably, I mean, I can see the points that were made. Of course, like I need to stay diplomatic here, so my answer will probably not make everybody happy because it will not be opinionated too much. I think like first, Polkadot is an open network and is decentralized, and we have this great tool that is OpenGov, where the community can propose anything and decide on anything. So whatever was decided about this 21 head ambassador can always change, and actually I kind of predicted this in the past. For me, like I think like having 21 people, why not starting maybe with fewer of them that are easier to where it makes coordination a little bit easier and see if it works, and then maybe scale up a little bit more, because I mean, of course, like they're treasury funded and everything, and of course, like whoever does this job must be paid for this, and I think it's totally fair. But it's in the end, it's treasury funding. It has been a hot topic in the past, and the community is quite sensible about this. We have seen like treasury spending going dramatically down in September. Yeah, probably like all-time lows, or most, not all-time lows, but definitely less than in the previous month, where there was crazy spending for sponsorship and sports and stuff like that. By the way, like there was also a CoinGecko post about Polkadot being the third most payer for like sports sponsorship, and all the sponsorship came out in 2024. And I think the first one is crypto.com, and yeah, I don't know, but there was a lot of like heated topic about this, because Polkadot was the only decentralized network. All the other were centralized exchanges that actually probably makes sense for retail to get people in, and it's not that Polkadot is not for retail. I mean, it's just another discussion here. Polkadot is also for institution, and it's a decentralized network. And I mean, I don't want to go too much. It's not another discussion. But anyway, I think like makes sense to like start in a more contained and experimental setup. Going back to Leo, what he said, Web3 is an experiment. And I think when you do the experiment, you always try to have less variable as possible, try to contain and makes possible like to manage, like the start of this experiment. And I'm not surprised. Of course, like makes people sad, because there are people within the program. It means that people will be kicked out, and this will probably create some negative pressure, or not negative pressure in the social, like kind of debate and whatever it will be. It's this is like something you cannot avoid when you do these kind of things. But I think it's good. And I'm quite curious to see how it evolves.
Okay, and thanks for sharing. And so, Leo, you work on community a lot. So, what's your take on this topic?
All right. I mean, to be honest, we had the mastership part. I mean, to talk about it, it is so hard to me, because I mean, I wanna honest in one part, and also I don't wanna get a bad relationship with my friends. It is a little bit hard to me, but I mean, I am putting Neuralauncher this part. Don't take as a from me. I mean, I am not Neuralauncher CEO right now. Okay, I mean, for me to, I mean, of course, Polkadot is decentralized, and everybody can create a proposal to create like a head ambassadorship program or other else. I mean, I am seeing a lot of we have a lot of important head ambassadorship head ambassadors also in Polkadot right now, like a William, and who is really adding a lot of value to Polkadot ecosystem. But for me, from the beginning, I was always to not liking this head ambassador program, because I mean it created so fastly without for me to making a lot of research. But somebody created the directly to proposal. I mean, then some movement happened here. Then after people started to 21 ambassadors. I mean, for me, if it is really adding to value to Polkadot ecosystem, it is available. Yeah, we can try it. I mean, Polkadot is here to just not to, I mean, to making, how can I tell you? Okay, I mean, anybody is not managing Polkadot. People is managing it. It is why, I mean, we can test it. It is an experimental area, but I hope it's going to affect to Polkadot ecosystem good. I mean, why I am telling it? I mean, when we are checking to Polkadot marketing part last 3 years, everybody is making a lot of bad comments from the Web3 communities. Yeah, Polkadot is not making good marketing, or Polkadot is not making this stuff, whatever. Actually, it is wrong. I mean, Polkadot is, I mean, don't need to make any marketing. People, I mean, community need to make something. It is why head ambassadorship program, in a one hand, good, because I mean, people created this stuff. But I mean, for me to like a payment system models in the head ambassadorships, and other else is not will affect a lot to Polkadot ecosystem, unfortunately. It is why I can tell it. I mean, to be honest, I want to mention here, I'm a psychologist and also to focusing Web3 sociology a lot. I mean, last 3 years, I focused on it, and uh, it is so hard to tell, but I am not thinking the head ambassadorship program gonna affect a lot to Polkadot ecosystem, because I mean here, I mean I'm seeing also a lot of people is coming not from Web3. I mean I am not mentioning everybody on this 21 people, but a lot of people is not coming also from the Web3 culture or Web3 experience. I mean especially in the Web3 part. I mean unfortunately, Web2, I mean, who has a Web2 career a lot or other else is not affecting. I mean, if it is affecting, we cannot see to here like biggest projects like Avalanche, Solana, or other else who make the very good stuff in the marketing last years. I mean, in the crypto, in the web, I don't want to mention to Web3 with a crypto because it is for me different things, but in crypto especially, I mean, marketing strategies working different. If we cannot reach to outside of the ecosystem, unfortunately, Polkadot cannot grow, or we cannot make anything to show people, yeah, we make the good marketing. On this period, I can mention it. Also, I want to add also here, it is so important for me. I mean, why Polkadot is like that right now? What happened to Parachains or what else? First, I need to mention, unfortunately, Polkadot, I mean, Polkadot get to Parachains end of the last bull season. What is it meaning? I mean, we started to get the Parachains like Akala, Mumir, Master, or whatever. I mean, end of the beginning of the 2022, if I am not wrong. Maybe Filippo can tell better than me. And on this process, I mean, what happened? It's market conditions wasn't good on this period until the today, and everything affected the Polkadot. And it is why actually Polkadot couldn't make a good marketing because we couldn't run anything in the Polkadot before getting parachains directly. Yeah, we saw a Kusama on this period. We tested our most of the parachains here and also some smart contracts and project deployed to these parachains, and they get the security from Kusama. But in this period, actually, Polkadot is, yeah, maybe when we're gonna check the Polkadot, it is a old, looks like old projects, but actually it is a baby. Because in crypto and the blockchain part, actually, we are so at the beginning process. And it is why I need to tell here without the cutting the topics. I hope head ambassadors the movement's gonna work, but I mean for me, I'm every time rejecting all proposal.
Okay. After hearing the feedbacks from the other two panelists, so what's your take on this, William?
Definitely. So, yeah, I'm definitely part of this drama. I am one of the 10 head ambassadors that is in this referendum is being proposed to be removed, right? So I guess that's the context. I would say, the first thing is that we don't have all the information, right? I would really caution everybody to make judgments without having the whole information about, how is this decision made, right? We don't, like, this ref just appeared and a list of 10 names was put there, right? Do we know how those 10 were decided, right? Who was in the room deciding them? What was said about each of them, right? It's almost like there was a, there was a decision-making process that happened before this referendum. The names must have been discussed. Some judgment must have been made about each person, and none of that is transparent, right? How do we know that those judgments were made accurately? How do we know that, it's sort of like being judged without a trial, right? So first thing is I would really caution everybody to not make a judgment before all of the information is available, right? Just like in the legal system, we should expect everybody to be able to, I guess, defend their position against any kind of accusation that's made against them, right? And again, I'm not saying that accusations have been made against them, but if they have, then that should be brought to light, right? The decision-making process should be brought to light, right? And so I guess one thing that I would love to ask Filippo later is if the Web3 Foundation had any part in that decision-making process. But in general, I would say, yeah, like Web3 is about transparency, right? It's not about making decisions behind closed doors. I think if we do that, then culturally, right? The question is, how do we run a successful DAO, right? A DAO is not a corporate entity where a few people get together and make decisions, right? So how do we run a successful DAO? It means setting a successful culture. How do people work together? How do we productively collaborate, right? I would say my biggest criticism of this, this process and this idea, and let me preface it by saying that I really don't have anything against the other people in the head ambassador set. Even the people that put this proposal forward, I think, like personally, I think it's misguided. It's a rushed judgment, right? And I would love to work with everybody in the future, just as I guess more productively than we have so far, right? I think it's important not to make things personal. But what I would say is like a lot of this is about leadership, right? If there's too many cooks in the kitchen, it's impossible to show leadership. But actually, leadership is about working with people that you disagree with. It's about understanding those disagreements. It's about coming together and creating something better, right? If the first step in it, when there's a problem, like with the people problem, with the disagreements, if the first step is to get rid of the people that you disagree with, right? That is not any successful organization. It's not a successful company. It's not a successful DAO, right? I don't see how we can like think of this as a good step if that's the way the decision is made, right? And that's there.
Yeah,
if there was no work.
It's kind of like it's. I mean, first, Polkadot is not company, right? So this is clear. It's a protocol, decentralized protocol. There is no letterbox. It's it's code. And of course, like on top of Polkadot, there is this, it's like a huge nation in cyberspace and everybody is online and, like you have to organize this in some ways. And in the past it was done through centralized Web2 kind of means, and Polkadot now launched this Gov1 and, it's 1 year ago, launched OpenGov, 1 year and, some months. So it's pretty new and makes sense that it's rusty. I mean, it makes sense that it's an experiment. Again, it's all an experiment. I mean, the problem is that when you're pioneering in everything, it can be like in automotive, it can be in space, it can be like in the cyberspace, it can be anywhere. You run into the position where you can do something really good and it works, but most of the times it doesn't, right? And there's a lot of risk with it. And I think like here with OpenGov, we are exactly in a position where it has been done something really great that you can organize, like a blockchain network and people, participants of this network. But it's not perfect. It's a bottom-up system. It's not top-down. So like it's very difficult there's no central kind of authority that sends money here and there for events or, very streamlined and, a lot of stuff happenings behind the door. No, everything is like, everything is transparent. Everything is there. Everybody can decide. It's really like powerful because you can have a lot of things being executed simultaneously, people like managing different projects at the same time, asking maybe for funding or like for events or like for technological upgrades. We have seen like the Ledger apps. This has been a huge improvement in the Polkadot ecosystem. One Ledger app for all the networks. This has been funded with OpenGov. I mean, it's a lot of what you're saying that how many people were behind and they proposed. It's impossible to have all the people of of the network that are proposing something, and they're all there deciding. There will be a group of people that they think, okay, we have too many ambassadors. They just put a proposal, and then you are in the list and you are unhappy, and it starts like this. I think this is normal. I mean, you cannot avoid this even in the future, right? It's the system that is designed to create this kind of situation. You can avoid some frictions, but it leads to discussions. It leads to maybe disappointments or these kind of things. But what I've seen since the launch of OpenGov, it's a lot of stuff has improved. Because at the start, we had people like asking for any funding and everything was passing. And then we have the formation of DAOs, we have the formation of people like delegations and, like formation of groups, political parties, essentially, right? And I think like the system is kind of finding its own equilibrium. It takes time because it's not only a technological upgrade, it's a socio-economical kind of way of organizing the society. It's something that has not been done before. It takes time. It's not like something that, it's fixed in 1 year. And people are stepping up, creating tools, OpenGov Watch and this kind of tools helping you to digest information, because it's a lot of stuff that is happening actually. So it's what I want to say is that it's normal that it creates these situations. And I think like the sooner we accept this and we try to live with this kind of situation, the better, because there will always be like this kind of confrontations. Because there will always be someone, like proposing something, you don't like it, and maybe you are involved in this kind of decisions, and you're personally, emotionally involved, and it starts the whole and some decisions are bigger than others, and these kind of things.
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely in the middle of this one right now, and I guess really what I'm trying to say is that for this one, the decision-making process wasn't transparent, right? And it would be great for voters to understand how it happened, right? And who was involved in that decision-making process and how it happened. Of course, it's totally valid for a proposal to go on chain and to be put out to token holders. But I think culturally, right, how do we do this in a way that embraces Web3 ideals of transparency, right? And so that people can understand the decision-making process. I think that needs to happen. I would say a second thing, right? And that I created a second post today kind of as a commentary on the situation. And if you look at how teams form, and this comes from like many decades of corporate research, right? And it's applicable to teams everywhere. Actually, there are, 4 or 5 stages of team formation, right? It's famously like forming, storming, norming, and performing, right? So I would say it is a very normal phase in a team formation's life to have a very contentious period, right? And so you can look at the research. It's Tuckman is the name of the person that did this, but storming is right the second phase of team formation. And if you can get through that part, then you get to a norming stage and then a performing stage, and you result in a much higher performance team than you did if you gave up at that point. So actually what I would say, like, and this is from just general business and, and how humans and teams work, is actually, I think the Polkadot DAO should tell all of the head ambassadors, no, do not give up right now, right? You're in the most contentious period and you need to get through it. We force you to work through it, right? So that's my personal take, is nobody else's take. And I think, like, if you think about leadership and how do you grow successful organizations, that is something that you need to do. So I hope everybody can think about that and take the perspective that, hey, there's actually something much stronger that could be achieved here if we actually work together. right? And it's okay if some people like disagree with others, and even some people want to fire other people, right? But if the DAO or the community can come together and say, hey, we understand that there's friction, we understand that things aren't working, but we force you to work together and figure it out, then I believe we will have a much stronger DAO. It will be a model second collective to come into Polkadot. And we should be always striving for the best people, the best performance, the best ways of working together. We need to prove that a DAO is a better organization than a centralized entity. And this, I would say, this is how we do it. We don't do it by giving up at the sign of struggle. And so I hope everybody can take that perspective, keep an open mind, go for transparency. And I since the beginning, when I was elected head ambassador, I knew that it could end at any time, right? So I'm not afraid of being removed from the program. It's always been controversy. There's always been accusations thrown about, right? For me, I'm just continuing to work towards making Polkadot DAO stronger. And if tomorrow I'm not a head ambassador anymore, that's okay with me. Like I am personally proud of all of the things that I've accomplished. But I think it can be much better. Like I think we need to step back from the ledge, and I want the whole community to really say, hey, again, head ambassadors, you should work this out. Don't give up, because the prize is a much stronger organization. And that is how Polkadot is successful as an organization. That's how we take on the challenge. There's so many challenges that Polkadot has, right? If we let infighting win, then Polkadot loses.
Okay, cool, and thanks for sharing. Yeah, thanks for sharing. I think that it is good that there's always been drama in Polkadot treasury proposals, because that means people cares about it. And if nobody against it and nobody talks about it, it means that people don't care. So I saw some data that the involvement or the votes, get involved into the OpenGov is increasing monthly, every month, right? So I think it's a good sign for Polkadot OpenGov, and but it is all experimental, and I think it is good that if all this stuff can be transparent, and so that OpenGov can move forward. Let's move to the next topic, which is the call time. Call time is officially leave, and we say goodbye to the auctions, and we enter into the new chapter. Philip published on Twitter that most part of the Polkadot 2.0 has completed, and now there's only elastic scaling is under development. So for this topic, I hope that Philip can share with us the progress of the elastic scaling, and what is missing, and how long would it be and before the Polkadot 2.0 fully launched?
It's for me the question. For me, right?
I think you know this part mostly, or William and Leo can.
That post was that post was mostly like to just point out that Polkadot 2.0 that has been decided by the community, that it includes 3 major upgrades for Polkadot technology to actually scale. The first has been delivered, which is called asynchronous backing. The name is a little bit complicated, but essentially the result is that Polkadot parachains, all of them, can increase their data throughput of 10x, which brings a little bit in TPS kind of in transaction per seconds. Translation is around 1,000 transaction per second for each chain. At the same time, on Polkadot, there are 50 chains. These 50 chains can push 1,000 transactions per second at the same time to the Polkadot relay chain, which is massive scalability already. I mean, it's definitely like something that it's kind of revolutionary in the blockchain space. The second thing is core time, and another. I mean, Polkadot has been using auctions to actually acquire these parachains, which are essentially roll-ups in a Ethereum kind of world. And there are 50 of them attached to Polkadot. And how do they the way they acquired these slots, right? This place on Polkadot to use it. It was through auctions, and auction is a very competitive system, and it how to say, like, creates a lot of entry barriers, high entry barriers. The highest bidder gets the space, right? It's not good because it's not good for experimentation, and it's not very, how to say, like, agile. It's not very to say, like, efficient, because maybe someone gets the slot and then you realize I don't need it, but then you have it, right? So essentially, it's a little bit of wasted computation on the Polkadot side. So now there is this core time that has been deployed this month, which means that everybody can actually rent time on Polkadot with DOT, right? You take some dots, you buy these core time NFTs, and you are granted a specific, time frame on the Polkadot relay chain. After that, it expires. If you want more, you need to buy more, right? And the revenue of this core time it's burned, right? These dots are actually burned. It's a way of Polkadot to actually have a different revenue streams that is different from traditional fees system. And it's a way also of making the system more agile, because maybe you need Polkadot for a week, you take it for a week, you don't need it anymore, someone else can just buy for the next week, right? Or you take it for a month, you realize you don't need it, you can split it and sell it on secondary market, and someone else can actually plug in at your place. It's a very, very efficient way of using Polkadot as a rollup chain, right? Of making sure that the computation that these validators on Polkadot are actually paid for, it's actually efficient. It's not wasted, because these are resources, right? It's that these are machines that are doing calculations. And the last step is elastic scaling. So the idea that a chain cannot just use one slot, but can use multiple slots at the same time. Because of course, like, if you use one slot, you have kind of a limit. A slot allows you to push a fixed, a maximum amount of data every 6 seconds, which is a relay chain block. If you are a very demanding chain, for example, I would imagine Mythical Games as a gaming platform, they might need, more throughput. So the idea is that they can plug to one core, and then if they need something more, they can actually plug to another one, and use two cores, right, at the same time, and push this data to this to Polkadot, and include them at the same time through these two cores into the relay chain. So this idea of, like, giving more scaling possibility, more throughput possibility to chains that we actually need more, right? That they really need more throughput. And this actually, it's at a good stage, because I can see here on the Polkadot SDK on GitHub, elastic scaling, I can see that there are 18 of 23 tasks that have been completed, and definitely, like, I can imagine it will be like tested soon in production. I don't know exactly when, but definitely it's the next, the next upgrade to get to Polkadot 2.0, the full Polkadot 2.0 picture. After that, of course, there will be some more stuff, and then probably later on, like the famous kind of gem chain that is not topic of this discussion, but definitely we're very close to Polkadot 2.0.
Okay.
Yeah, I wanted to just highlight how amazing that is. right? You can't find that anywhere else, the ability to scale up and scale down. I think Polkadot, traditionally Polkadot is always like about the technology and not about the marketing. And so I think a lot of people outside don't really appreciate this capability that is now available, right? And so we really need to find, some really good, use cases, some really good adopters that really need this, right? And they, because it's so important for us to show that Polkadot is different than other ecosystems. I think what happens, like as I've been going out into the world and going to all of these L2 conferences, I went to many of them at Token, right? First, Polkadot is not in the conversation at all, right? Just not at all. And second, even if it is, people assume that Polkadot is just another one of the same thing. And that is, and then they dismiss it, right? But Polkadot is so different, right? The essence of strategy is to take a different path than other people and then highlight that, right? So my personal view on the strategy for Polkadot is we should not be trying to go closer to other ecosystems and comparing ourselves to them. Of course we want to have better performance, right? And but we need to highlight how we're different. People need to appreciate the differences, right? The stronger approach to decentralization, right? The full approach to centralization, the ability to be fast, the ability to scale up and down, right? This is not talked about enough. It's not communicated outwards. We have so many differences, right? Again, everybody thinks at the beginning that you shouldn't focus on differences because people don't understand you. I will say the opposite. We should shout our differences out to the world and find people that appreciate us because of the differences. And that is going to lead Polkadot to its next phase, right?
Yeah, although
we're really better.
Yeah, although this has been done, I mean, I think that some terminology is good that it's constant in this space. For example, saying that Polkadot is a rollup, essentially, right? And it's rollup data that is pushed to Polkadot. Then, of course, like the rollup is different. It's made in a different way. It's a Polkadot rollup. And yes, like there are all these like technological upgrades that are different from what other system can do, and it's good, like you say, that we need to explain that the high scalability that the system has. And yeah,
I guess personally, and this is just me, right? But I guess I'm the only one that doesn't really think it's a good to rename Polkadot's chains to rollups. I mean, personally, like, and I haven't thought about it too much, but generally when I think of a rollup, it's about batching a number of transactions into one, right? And then writing it to the L1, right? And that's how you get scalability. And I do understand the desire to have Polkadot's terminology be closer to other chains, so you don't spend time explaining it. But just the word rollup implies batching transactions, which is a decrease in decentralization, which is precisely the thing that Polkadot is better at. So for that reason, like for me, it's sort of like, yes, we're being more clear, but we can't compromise our value proposition and how we're truly different and truly like bringing a better technology into the world by using that just to make the explanation easier. Again, that's just personal opinion, and it's my feeling, right?
I think the
maybe we decide to go with it.
Parachain rollup deserves its own space, its own discussion. I think it will be quite a heated one.
You can schedule that later.
Yeah. Okay, and thanks for sharing. I think Polkadot has entered a new chapter, and so next topic, let's talk about the Polkadot adoption. How to promote the Polkadot adoption. I brought this topic is because at Token Singapore, we saw a impressive application. Where 10 Telegram public chain collaborate with a ride-hailing app and offering free ride for the first trip and a 50% discount on the subsequent rides during this event, and it gained widespread attention. Everyone around me tried this. So, how can we bring? We are very jealous about this, and me and a friend of us from from Polkadot and Polkadot ecosystem sitting there and trying their depths. We are very jealous about this. And when can Polkadot have applications like this? And so, how can we bring similar breakthrough applications to Polkadot ecosystem to drive the Polkadot ecosystem, the Polkadot adoption? So, how about Leo started first for this topic?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I can. Okay, well, okay, okay. Well, I mean, firstly, I mean, it is so good questions. Actually, it is the also the adaptation to Polkadot to real life is actually my dream. I mean, but I mean, unfortunately, I'm not using Polkadot tech. I need to mention it. To be honest, in Polkadot, how it can be in Polkadot. Firstly, I need to explain here actually from my side because I started to build in Polkadot with Astar Network. We were building in Wasm and we moved to layer 2, which is the we are using right now optimism part. I mean, I can tell actually Neuralaunch is not anymore building anything in the Polkadot directly, which is the other main projects. To be honest, it is a good question for me. Actually, we need to focus why we don't have these projects. How, I mean, we shouldn't focus to how we can get it like these projects to inside of Polkadot. Why some project is living from the Polkadot. Also, we need to focus this part too. In this process, I need to mention firstly, I mean, which is the also if you're gonna ask everybody in the streets, if we're gonna have a Web3 streets, because I mean, unfortunately, we don't have a lot of liquidity inside of the Polkadot. Firstly, it is the region. I mean, secondly, also we don't have a lot of user which can you reach directly. I mean, I get a lot of experience in my project, which is the directly to focusing relatives. Actually, probably we are the still the biggest one community in, if I'm gonna mention here, Polkadot and also Astar Network. But I mean, we are in the stack of the some doors. I mean, walls. I mean, I am a Polkadot maxi. I don't wanna talk about like, I mean, why I also left. But I mean, end of the day, we need to fix these problems. We need to reach the other people to get them inside of the Polkadot to have applications. But also to make it, we need to have applications to reach new people too. It is actually some, how can I say it to you? I mean, to create, fixing the one problem, also we need to fix another problem too. I mean, on this period, I mean, to bringing to other like a mythical games is the also the best one. As example, last 2 years I can tell the best purchase was the mythical games for me. But I mean, we need to have like these adaptations directly to get some other like projects also like web 2. It can be also web to applications inside of the blockchain to integrate it the Polkadot. For example, I mean, we need to focus to fix also the what I mentioned to you. Why also to like Astar or other projects also to focusing the other part too. I mean, end of the day, Astar launched Sony with a Sony, which is the biggest company in the world, biggest one company in the world, also biggest company in the Japan. Why they didn't use the Polkadot tag? We need to also focus these questions too. For me, Polkadot is every time is my house, but I mean, for me, first we need to fix these problems. I mean, I don't wanna like make a bad comment, but I mean, I am talking about truth. I'm sorry.
Okay, thanks for sharing. So, William, would you like to share on this topic?
Yeah, definitely. I would say it's already happening. and plans are in place, right? Well, I guess specific partnerships like a taxi, those will come as they come, right? But I think I would highlight a proposal passed this month, I think, or very recently, to fund an integration with Billfold, right? They are a point of sale that powers all, music experiences and, like festivals and concerts. And basically, it's a system where you have a wristband, and then you load money onto the wristband, and then you just tap your wristband to pay at the register, right? That's a pretty magical experience. And that will all be powered by Asset Hub. And so this is something that's just starting now. Spencer and the team at PMEI is working on it. And you can imagine that there will be many, many people that are using this, point of sale and purchasing their concessions and merchandise, in a very easy way with Polkadot. And we'll be able to expand that to many more types of businesses. I would say, secondly, this is really going to be opened up by Asset Hub and Plaza, right? Because today it takes a lot of effort and work to deploy your application, right? Because you have to choose which parachain, or if you have to launch a chain, or maybe you have to launch an app chain. But once we have Plaza, we'll have a very low cost way where we're gathering all of the users, all of the liquidity, all of the smart contracts, and then that will enable people to create new experiences and abstract away difficult things for the users if need be, or expose them to the chain if need be. So it really just cuts, it's really a big solution to the developer experience problem, I would say, in terms of how difficult it is to launch something on Polkadot. And because we have all of our stable coins there, we'll have a lot of DeFi concentrated there, and it will be kind of like I think it will be a really good opportunity to get a network effect of many different users and use cases, and then it will be opened up to many other partners. Another interesting thing that I learned this month is that at Token, Solana announced an integration with Travala to allow them to get travel rewards in Seoul. Actually, I had a call with them, and they already support DOT for paying for your trips. So it was really interesting to find out. We don't talk about that a lot. It's kind of been forgotten because it was implemented a long time ago during the last bull run. But yeah, there are already some interesting businesses that support Polkadot, enable Polkadot, and hopefully we can do more to kind of bring awareness to that. And finally, I guess not to monopolize all of the things, but I think it's really exciting that Dot Play was also funded by the DF program, right? And this is to provide some venture funds to be able to invest in bringing more games and entertainment to the ecosystem. So I think over the next year, as all of these things roll out, we'll be seeing there's definitely much more opportunity to bring these kinds of experiences to users. And we have teams in place that are already executing on it. So I think if we wait a little bit, we'll see a lot of exciting things happening.
Yeah, I see that on the booth of the of Polkadot on the token, there's a demonstration of the Polkadot app, right? So how's the response from people?
I don't think that there was a demonstration of the app. At least I didn't see it, and I was at the booth quite a bit of time both days. So yeah.
So what is that showing on the screen on the Polkadot booth? It is a pay. It is a Polkadot Pay or something.
Yeah, I think there's definitely been screenshots of the Polkadot app coming out, of it in use. But I've personally never seen a live one, and I think the video I saw most commonly was like a mythical themed thing. But yeah, I think that's definitely right. Like that's another chance to go out to retail, get anybody on board, right? Your mom, your grandmother, they can all use Polkadot. They can pay with things and get incredible discounts. So I would say it's a chance to kind of open up the the gates to welcome many more people in and get them kind of hooked on their first experience with Polkadot and welcome them into the ecosystem. So yeah, another exciting thing happening.
Yeah. So Philip, what's your take on this?
No, I mean, I agree with William. I think Polkadot really focused on user experience in the past 2 years during the bear market. it has been like done a lot to really improve. I remember when I joined the ecosystem, there were like really difficult, advanced tools to interact with the ecosystem. Now you have great wallets, you have Nova Wallet, you have Sub Wallet. These are great, definitely great mobile wallets to have and interact with the ecosystem. This is definitely like gonna boost adoption, especially when there will be the next big wave of people coming in. The question of how we can boost adoption also like depends which people you want to onboard, because Polkadot has seen like a big institution or like big players already like onboarding. We have Mythical Games, that is a big game institute. Game company that is onboarding their own users, but of course the user will be transacting on Mythical, and the transaction of course will be like secured by Polkadot. And so it's because Mythical is a Polkadot parachain, it's a Polkadot rollup, right? And then we see like governments, the attempt now, it's like there is a willingness from Indonesia to solve some issues in their digitalization in their program, and they're using Polkadot technology with Mandala chain. And these are big, big efforts. Definitely, I would say like it's not direct retail onboarding, but we've seen also like small efforts to onboard retail. There will be, of course, the Polkadot app where you can buy and you have these discounts, and this encourages you to use DOT and use the the wallets. But we have also like seen minor things like small games where you can like play and you get some small drops or NFTs, and this like creates a new account on the blockchain, and you have like directly some metrics, so you can like measure how many people you onboard, how many accounts you onboard, and stuff like this. We've seen like with a couple of memes, we've seen like Pink, we've seen like Wood, and these new meme coins that are trying like to do these small games and try to get people and play and create an account. And like there are small efforts I've seen, and I think like I'm noticing that they're picking up a little bit the pace, and definitely like it's good. It's good to see. It's of course like Polkadot again. It's like a bottom-up system, and it's not like Solana, for example. That is Solana is not a sharded network. It's just like a very homogeneous network. Of course, a lot of like scalability, a lot of throughput. You can have the smart contracts and stuff like this. And this helps a lot, like when it comes to developers. And I think like Polkadot is addressing exactly this with after Polkadot 2.0 with Gem, making the possibility of having this a seamless interaction of contracts in the blockchain. Although Polkadot is a sharded, it's like a network of multiple chains, so it's a little bit more complicated. It has been done because to solve issues, but of course, like it becomes, it creates like other little problems, and this has been like is being addressed, I would say. Of course, we are aware of this, and definitely like it will be like fixed. Like it will be like something that will be deployed and will allow people to really like have a better seamless experience for developers. We're also like putting together all the documentation for developers. Also, the Polkadot wiki has been like redesigned and reorganized in the past two years. It has been like a huge effort to consolidate the whole documentation, and definitely this should help with the adoption and helping builders. The blockchain academy, the Polkadot blockchain academy, like to learn about blockchain and how to develop on the ecosystem. Definitely like shaping the next like Web3 builders in our ecosystems. Definitely like something needed, and I'm generally positive about this. It's just like people in this space don't have patience. Most of the time
Yeah, I remember Bob Alex mentioned to me that Polkadot is working on the payment stuff, payment by Polkadot or something, or get it or just get it wrong. But I think
I think this is within the Polkadot Pay app. I think probably was something related to the Polkadot Pay app.
Okay. And I think the USDC on Polkadot, was supported on KuCoin. This is also a very good sign. People in
Definitely like adoption of stable coins and stable coin use. It's definitely a very solid use case. We have seen it like with the Tron blockchain that has been like used pretty heavily with USDT, and definitely like Asset Hub has seen like a lot of increase in stable coin adoption, USDT and USDC. I think first was Binance supporting it. We have KuCoin. I've seen like also integration with Revolut. You can use Revolut and with Polkadot, and definitely all these apps that people use, like online banks and stuff like this. It's good to like integrate and give the possibility to open channels to the Polkadot ecosystem. This will definitely like help adoption.
Yes, it's getting better and better. But one thing that is my personal opinion that is there's one way that we can change the impressions people outside of Polkadot to Polkadot is that for the very big event like a token and other event that's going to be happen, we can do some advertisement like the 10 did use the application during this event so that crypto native people can get to know that Polkadot already have such a impressive applications. We did a lot. It's long term, but people still don't know about Polkadot. How can we let them know quickly? I think using the token, such a kind of a big event to do some bonus stuff regarding the very good applications, I think that's going to be a very good way. People will suddenly feel that, oh, Polkadot is changed. It's not like what I was thought. Okay, just my personal opinion.
Ultimately it's up to the people if you want to like do something like this. So if you have like an idea, or you have an application for onboarding, or you have like some project, why not? I mean, everything it's possible. You can do it and then go to the events and and do an experiment or a trial or something like that.
Yes. Actually, we're thinking about that because there's some big event in China as well, and Bifrost. We were talking to Bifrost. They're kind of thinking that can do something like this during this event. But let's see. Okay. I think
good. Yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's great that we've touched on so much. There's a tons of knowledge in our conversation. I think our audience needs time to digest. So I think this is the end of our roundtable this time, and this is the beginning. And every month we will have a roundtable like this, and we will invite more guests to join, and hope that we can bring out more insights and ideas to the audience, and at the same time updates to the audience what is happening in Polkadot. So great. Thank you so much, William and Philip. And
no, thank you. It has been a pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah. See you next time.
It's great to be here.
Yeah. Bye, Kristen.
Bye-bye.
Bye, William.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And